Xbox had some great announcements this week at their showcase, and 10 games that excited me are coming your way. But let me pose a question to set the scene for this podcast. Are the console wars back? Howdy Hello, and welcome to AlphaPhenomenon Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Phat Love, and I'll be taking you on a journey through gaming with reviews, news, and commentary. The June 7th Xbox Games Showcase opened with Gears of War E-Day, which was a strong choice considering this was their after-the-show presentation. As someone who doesn't own an Xbox and isn't in their gaming economy, this game looks very good, and I'm happy for those who get to play it in October when it launches exclusively to Xbox consoles. But I won't be able to play this one, and that's a little bit of a bummer because of how good it looks. More on that last bit there in a second. Next, continuing strong after Gears of War, we had Fable, which I was never too interested in until this past 6 months when more information came out, and now I can see what the hype is all about. Fable is going to be absolutely bonkers with how large it is, with tons and tons and tons to keep you busy, and I am here for it. I saw a preview from IGN at Summer Game Fest that further showed how large the game is and how your choices will matter in regard to how townfolk like you. Only in 2026 could we get a game with this level of personality. What I thought would be an Xbox exclusive is actually coming to PlayStation consoles as well, so I'm well and truly excited for the February release date. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a day one, as a lot of other games are targeting February for their release dates next year, but I am absolutely interested in learning more and seeing what I still have left from 2026 to play come next year, and if that would be a problem for picking this one up. The next game that interested me was Halo Campaign Evolved. Since this one is also coming to PlayStation, and I've never played a single Halo game or watched the TV show, I know approximately 0% about the lore and story, so I'm excited to see where and how it all began on July 28th. Though the release date might be tricky, competing in July with the likes of a few other big games I'm eyeing, but nevertheless exciting, and I am excited to finally know what made everyone love Master Chief. The next big announcement that got me revved up was none other than the official trailer for Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations. I bought this game on launch day and platinumed the game in under 2 weeks if you don't count the bugged last trophy I needed. So the announcement of a DLC has me jumping out of my seat. This is also the first game I talked about on AlphaPhenomenon Gaming Podcast, so this couldn't be a more fitting reveal. The long-awaited DLC releases on July 7th, less than a month out, and I can't wait to rip and tear through another exciting installment with the Slayer. Now, I don't have much to say about Crazy Taxi World Tour, but I wanted to give it an honorable mention as I loved the original title back in the day, and depending on the cost and release date they give us, I can see myself absolutely picking this one up for a good time. I had a lot of fun with Minecraft Dungeons, and the DLC was creative and fun. It offered a PG way to introduce kids to the ARPG genre of dungeon crawler games. So with the announcement of a sequel title, I will be 100% playing Minecraft Dungeons 2. But I'm just not sure if I want to buy it on PlayStation or Switch. Now I'm going to put 2 games together for this next one. Magicians: The Devil's Deal and Valor Mortis. Both of these titles looked beautiful with stunning graphics and interesting story trailers, while both showing a fascinating and unique gameplay loop. These were not revealed as Xbox console exclusives, so when they finally show release dates, I'll be adding them to my calendar. We have 3 final games I want to talk about. First, Spyro: A Realm Beyond. This is such a loved IP and character that you can't see the purple dragon and not smile immediately. He's back, and a brand new story in an evolved, modern open world game is in development. We have no release date, but even if this comes out in 2028, I'm on board, and I know dozens of PlayStation 2 fans who are right there with me. Next, we have Clockwork Revolution. This is an Xbox console exclusive that I thought was the most exciting game of the showcase. I wanted to legitimately cry after they said it was a console exclusive because I thought we were past Microsoft exclusivity in 2026, yet here we are. Don't get me wrong, I see the point. Marvel's Wolverine, for example, is going to sell an insane number of copies for PlayStation. Pokemon is going to sell millions of copies for Nintendo Switch. But I just figured we were done with console exclusivity and had modernized to timed exclusivity, where the game is exclusive for 6 months to a year until being available on other platforms, similar to what they did with the recent release of Indiana Jones, coming to all platforms but exclusively launching on the Xbox system of consoles. With the cost of consoles these days, though, I absolutely cannot spend $1,000 on a console for a standalone game when I can watch a playthrough on YouTube for free. I already have my blind loyalty console, and that's my Nintendo Switch, because I need to play the new Pokemon games day one. That's a choice I've chosen to make, and I'm living with it. I can't also do that with an Xbox console as well. To answer my opening question in the podcast, do I think the console wars are back? Not by a long shot, and certainly not to the extent that it was in previous generations of the platform consoles. We have a few select games being withheld from other platforms, and that may or may not sell some folks on playing in their sandbox. Yes, the fear of missing out is real. FOMO does exist. But in today's economy, my wage used to be acceptable, and now it's considered below the poverty line, which means I'm already wasting my money on enough. So if you're creating content, trust me when I say this, you'll get plenty of clicks on games like Clockwork Revolution or Marvel's Wolverine or the Pokemon games, especially if you have good commentary, because that's where I'll be looking when Clockwork Revolution, the most exciting game of this entire showcase for me, was revealed once again, but now with exclusivity locked behind it. The final game I want to talk about is the game they removed from Game Pass day one so they could lower their price again. Don't tell me they didn't do it for this exact reason. Call of Duty. That's right, Modern Warfare 4 was already announced for October 23rd, but we were getting our first look at DMZ exclusively during the Xbox showcase. As part of the paid package, I'll once again reiterate, I am a campaign-first guy who stays for the multiplayer. However, I think the new DMZ mode did look very cool, and the setting being after the events of the main campaign is a smart decision. Especially since they just released, before I recorded this podcast, that we are getting 1 week early access to the campaign if you digitally pre-order the game. I think they're doing that because they want you to play through the campaign, so when you dive into DMZ day one on the 23rd of October, you have already completed the campaign, and the story, which ends there and picks up in DMZ, you will be familiar with without having to deal with the spoilers involved. Now, skipping back to the day of this reveal, I think they showed just enough to make me want to see more, which was smart, because nobody knows what this extraction mode will be like, not even content creators who were invited to the studio to see the game early. As far as we all know, and as far as I know, they were never shown actual DMZ gameplay. All they got was the trailer we saw during Summer Game Fest that they saw a little bit early. Now, I hope they announce an open beta for the DMZ mode during COD Next this year, alongside the expected multiplayer beta, because I want to get my hands on both and see what this DMZ mode is really about. Waiting a week after the showcase gives me time to collectively see other opinions, and seeing that the reveal trailer showed the spectator's helmet cam for the majority of the DMZ reveal didn't bother me as much as it did others. Now, I think it was a smart choice to save true gameplay footage with the UI present until closer to launch, possibly waiting until Gamescom in August, or even as far along as Call of Duty Next, which is likely to be in September. Most Call of Duty fans are already all in on October 23rd, plus the week early to the campaign, so this felt smart and intentional by the devs over at Infinity Ward. I can almost guarantee that before the full launch in October, we will have seen an entire match of DMZ shown to us and broken down. Put it on your bingo cards, that's how confident I am. And with Call of Duty wrapping up my list, we have only one presentation left to cover, and that would be the Nintendo Direct. Out of all the presentations up to this point, I think Xbox has had the strongest showcase. This was an absolute 8 out of 10 strong showcase. They had the strongest showing of games that kept me interested, and I can see myself playing almost all of the games they showed, even the ones I didn't talk about today, including those locked behind console exclusivity. Thank you again for listening to my podcast, and be sure to subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Spotify, where I respond to comments. We have one final summer game showcase left, and that's going to be from none other than Nintendo. Until then, this has been Phat Love. Peace! That's all I've got to say. If you played it, let me know what you thought. Hit me up on YouTube or leave a comment on Spotify. Thanks for listening. I'm Phat Love, and this has been AlphaPhenomenon Gaming Podcast. Peace.